Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. I know normally on Fridays I have been doing Success Codex readings live, which has been really fun. But this week we're doing something a little bit different. I am here with my dear friend Lois Connolly StGermaine. And she's not just a dear friend, she's also the COO of the Success Codex. So meet Lois. But we're having a conversation today about something that Lois and I talk about behind the scenes all the time, which is, we have these chats about business, about pressure, about the industry, about what we see that's working. Lois is a reflector in human design, so she's got spidey sense with that and the ability to kind of read things from a really high perspective. Sense trends. So we're always having these conversations. And sometimes we kind of hit this edge in our conversations and it feels like, you know what, we have to bring this to the public. We have to actually involve other people in this conversation because it's mindset shifting. It's I want to say reality shifting, but just in terms of our perception of what's happening, but more importantly, our perception of ourselves. So today, by the way, hi, Lois. I'm just going to talk about you, around you, through you. Yeah, you're like, hello. So hi, welcome. And we're just going to get started. We're going to talk about lots of things. We're going to see where this goes. So.
Yes. Thank you for such a beautiful introduction. I think we came together just because, well, first I was interested in my codex. That's how I started following you. And I hired you to help me. And then I just realized that all of my work is around identity and self-concepts and how we can lean into those. And there was something about the codex that just kept drawing me back in and made me realize this is so much deeper than just a fun chart to tell me more about me. Like, it was actually actionable in the way that you bring it to life. And I just wanted to be part of it. So here we are together.
I love it. And I love the identity angle that you consistently remind me about, right? Because when it comes to, look, I'm going to talk about entrepreneurship and business because so many of us are entrepreneurs, or we've got this like passion project we want to bring into form. But I do want to say, I really think this applies to all of us. It's like we want to be successful. We want to bring our passion into the world. We want to be able to serve. We want to make money doing those things. And it's so easy for us to slip into, well, what do I have to do to make that happen? And, part of like, this is a trap, if I'm honest, that I have fallen into so many times, especially with the personality typing systems and human design and astrology and Myers-Briggs and Enneagram and all these pieces, where I've had these periods where I really want to make my business work. And so I go, well, if I'm going to make it work, I have to understand who I am. And then I go and spend X number of dollars. We were talking about, you signed up for a $14,000 program, right? I signed up for $24,000. Like we've blown money on these things. Okay, guys, like certifications, things that like, we're looking for some sort of answer that eventually, or hopefully, would just tell us, just go do this. Just go do this. Whether it's based on your human design or it's based on a business strategy. And in this process of like, oh, I'm learning about myself. Oh, I'm learning about business. The part inside of us that wants to be doing something to get the result, like the fixer, the doer, feels very, very satisfied. I don't know about you, but in those positions, more often than not, I'm not only am I not applying what I'm learning, I'm just learning. But the identity piece is, my identity is, I can't do it because I don't know enough.
Yeah.
I can't take the action because I'm still learning, or I need that certification, or like who am I to make a business decision? I don't have a business. I don't have an MBA. How could I trust myself? Well, that lady made $600,000 last year. So she's doing something right. So let me copy what she's doing, right? Let me pay her $10,000 and then she'll tell me her formula and I'll go and I'll do that. And just like, hi, Katie. By the way, I just saw your comment. Hello, hello. Like when that happens, again, it's like there's this piece in us that feels like we're doing something. We're not actually doing what we need to do to create those results, which is application from a place of deep embodiment of the identity of the person who has it, knows what they're doing, like that version of you, because all of us have that version. We've got the version of like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And we've got the version of ourselves that's like, actually, I know exactly what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. Can we make moves from that version? Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's really interesting to look at the difference between like having the passion that you want to share and teaching it, delivering it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know that most of us have the language to explain what you're just talking about, right? Because that person who has the business, she's going to tell you to go do some things and go get people to respond to your doing when that's not really what it's about, right? That it has, what I always find is the things that we have to do, like create content, put out an offer, onboard clients, all of that. None of that changes regardless of whether you're doing it because it's a checklist that somebody told you this is how you do it, or you're so fully embodied in who you are and what you're delivering that it's just the natural thing that you do, which gets really confusing because, okay, I was doing those things and nothing happened.
Right.
And now I'm doing them. And number one, they're easier just from a flow standpoint because I'm not resisting and I'm not questioning.
Right.
But people are responding. So what's the difference? Like, what's the difference between those two entrepreneurs? And we've been talking a lot about how, like, right now, so many people are experiencing, they had a lot of success and times have shifted, right? People, customers, clients have gotten smarter, are being more discerning, right? They're not falling for any copywriting out there that we've all fallen for. And who are the people that are succeeding and who previously succeeded that are now not? Like, what is that difference?
Yeah.
What's really happening there?
Yeah.
And I mean, I always say it's identity.
Yeah.
And you're describing it exactly from that type of position.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I see it too, right? It's not about what we do. It's about who is doing it. And I don't mean who, like you or me. I mean, which part of me? Which part of me? What's the motivation behind what I'm doing? Am I motivated out of fear, desperation, panic, needing to keep up? Very real pressure, which is a big part of the conversation, right? Because guess what? You got bills to pay. There's a pressure. Okay. We're not going to like foofy woo-woo ourselves out of the 3D pressure, right? But the pressure can be there without it necessarily needing to drive us to the actions, right? So that's one part of ourselves, like, trying to fix, trying to do damage control. The other part of ourselves is the part of ourselves that trusts, that understands that there's, I mean, I don't know anyone who's had a linear path to success, right? So trying to get it right, trying to do it perfectly, like none of that is really worth following. The part of us that's like deeply inspired. The energy difference as someone in an audience, right? Two people selling the same thing. One from desperation, panic, one from love, clarity, excitement. I swear it could have the same copy and you're going to respond to both differently. I mean, the copy will change, right? Your voice changes, right? If I'm having a conversation with you and I need something from you, I'm going to say it with a different level. Like you're going to feel my pressure.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a pressury sales call. Does anyone like those? Does anybody like that? Nobody likes that. And like desperation is not attractive. Right? It's a pressure that like when someone is desperate, our natural reaction is to put our hands up and to say no. And so it's an invitation for us to be more mindful about like, well, which part of myself has to post every day on social media? Which part of myself needs to have a free offer and a low ticket offer and a mid offer and a high offer, and then like a all-in-one offer? Which part of myself needs to make $100,000? Like, do you need $100,000? Would you like $100,000? Like, what do you want? So all of this, like when we bring the awareness to it, and like, here's the thing, it's not even just bringing the awareness so that we can change and fix it and be better and be good and do it right. It's so we have a choice. We just want to be in a space of choice. Sometimes we're going to choose, I'm going to make these choices out of my higher self, out of the part of me that's inspired, the part of me that trusts. And sometimes we're going to make that choice out of like, I don't know, I got to pay this bill.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get to see what works and what doesn't.
Yeah. And I think the whole trust part is really the key here, because most of us, when we get into entrepreneurship, don't trust ourselves.
No.
We haven't come from a past that was trusting of ourselves, right? And that's very scary, I think, because there is no guarantee. There's no, here's like, even when you buy someone's program, someone's strategy that has worked for them and maybe has worked for hundreds, thousands of people, there's still no guarantee that it's going to work for you. And then when it doesn't, as women, we love to, go inward and make it a me problem about who I am. Like they made it work and I didn't, so what's wrong with me? We never get to that healthy place where we actually trust, not necessarily that we're going to be successful, but that we're going to be okay regardless of what happens.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the codex like keeps bringing me back to, is like, if you just keep coming back and embodying these key codes and these words and like really leaning into this, you're going to be okay. Because do we even know if we're on our final absolute perfect track, right? I don't believe that
there is one.
Yeah. But I don't believe that we're ever off track either, right?
I agree.
So it's just, I'm just on the path that's going to lead me wherever I'm going.
Yeah. 100%, right? Like we've had so many experiences in our lives that have actually undermined our self-trust. I've believed that like the education system in many ways undermines our self-trust, right? It teaches us to ignore our body signals when we need to move. We have to eat in rigid ways. We have to memorize certain information. That's like one place. And you get to the job and there's so many ways. And there are also some people who come into entrepreneurship because they're like, I can do this. And the second they start to be marketed to, this is my fantasy, is that this will change someday. The second they start to be marketed to in the way that marketing for entrepreneurs, for grow your business, make money, get clients, programs have predominantly messaged to you. You are bombarded with messages that say, you don't know what you're doing.
You're
missing this. you thought you know what you're doing, but if you don't have this, you're not going to make it. By the way, if you want to know what to do, I got you. And I feel like there's something about that marketing. It is unintentionally. I really do believe it's unintentional. I believe a lot of it at this point is habit. It's like everyone's sucked in through that marketing and then taught to market that way. And we just need to break the habit collectively. But it is predatory on insecurities and fosters more insecurities.
Yeah, I never go to the harsh extreme.
I know. I'm like
but
yeah.
What I'm hearing and what I'm sensing is from childhood, girls are taught to orient to an external authority.
Yeah.
So, right. Teacher, it doesn't, even boys probably, but more so, I think they're rewarded for what they do versus who they are, right? And we've talked about this. Good girls don't do X, or, oh, you're hurting Johnny's feelings, versus the boy is like, great job, good catch, good whatever. And this isn't a masculine, feminine conversation, but I think it's the orientation that we are so programmed to revert to automatically. Like, it's not even necessarily that the marketing is predatory, it's that it satisfies, and we're like, oh, I recognize this. Someone or something out here knows what to do, so I should listen to them.
Right.
And we don't learn until we get old, right? To change that orientation to be internal, back to the trusting ourselves and like really relying on our intuition and our sense, right? Use the human design stuff, the sacral to answer, right? I'm talking to the moon, but whatever it is. So I think it's an orientation in how we've been trained to always look outside.
Yeah, I mean, and some of I've been getting certified as a menopause doula, and so I'm also learning all about the hormonal influence of these kinds of things. And when women are estrogen dominant, so puberty until menopause, our brains are relational. It is designed that way. So yes, we are looking to see what other people are doing. Yes, we are thinking about like classic. Well, if I charge that much, that might put someone out. I don't want to hurt you by my prices, right? Like all of these pieces. And what are they doing? What's she doing? How is it working for them? Right? We understand ourselves through these relationships. It's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just a thing, right? But again, we want to bring awareness, not so we never do it again, because this is not about perfectionism, but so we have a choice. Right. And we also have to recognize, like, I know Lois and I differ on actually a lot of opinions, and I love that. And we have really great conversations where we completely disagree. And that's what makes our friendship so special too. But like, we have to recognize the manipulative language that's used in marketing. We have to understand what part of us is being triggered. We can call it sales psychology if we don't want to call it manipulation. I don't really care what we call it, but there's language that's telling me that I'm not good enough and that I'm missing something. So if I'm not aware that that's a technique that's taught to get me to more impulsively click buy, because that is a technique that's taught to get you to impulsively click buy. If I'm not aware of that, then I'm just impulsively clicking buy. Right. And it's not because we're all victims. It's literally like the science of PR and psychology and marketing.
NLP.
And NLP. Exactly. And so what does this have to do with pressure, and what does this have to do with client attraction? Because that really is what we're here to talk about. I think it has a lot to do with client attraction for us as leaders. And to begin to start to think about, how am I approaching my client attraction? How am I viewing my clients? I've told this story. I don't know when I told it somewhere. Right. But when I was like 20, I worked for a popular learning center franchise on the Upper East Side in New York City. And the center I thought it was doing great. Apparently it wasn't. It was bought out by this guy who didn't know anything or care anything about education. And I was like a head teacher there. And one day I came in, it was like a not so busy day. There was only one student on the floor. And I went to go like file some papers, and I overheard the new owner refer to the students as revenue streams, the little revenue streams. And at 20 years old, where I didn't know shit about business, I knew something was not right with that. And that helped me to understand, like that stuck with me and helped me to remember that my clients are not revenue streams. The issue comes in though, when we need that revenue, and that revenue comes through our clients. Right. And so it's an edge that probably most of us aren't aware of. Most of the time, I'm not consciously thinking about that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But when the pressure comes in to make money, if I have to make money, off of you or through your investment, how easy is it to go into a default mode for any of us, not all of us, but for many of us, I'll say, of, well, I need to get you to do something for me so I can make that money. And as leaders, it's another piece where it's a beautiful opportunity for us to bring some awareness and choice. Is that who you want to be as a leader? Is that how you want to lead? Is that how you want to lead your business? And what's that alternative?
It's interesting, right? Because I come from the corporate world and big layoffs and having to go be someone who's sending tens, dozens, hundreds of people out of the safety of their paycheck causes us as leaders to disassociate because it's painful for us as well to have to deliver those kind of messages, especially to people who haven't really done anything wrong in their job, right? So I think the same thing comes into play here. It's the disassociation of in order for, my business to be thriving, it takes an average of, 10, 20, 30 people, like whatever the number is. So I don't always see those as individuals, right? Because that would mean that I would be potentially manipulating them. And I see manipulation as good and bad. It's just, do you use it for good or evil?
It's a part of life, right?
It could be the best thing in the world for them. It's still manipulation under the definition.
I like to call it influence instead. Like positive manipulation is influence.
So much better. Right. But again, that's a disassociation because I don't want to admit that even for good, it is manipulation. Right. So I'm going to call it influence or persuasion or whatever. Regardless, it's that we're taught in business, and not only taught, but for our own sense of safety and survival in our nervous system to have that separation between, like, we forget that we're just human to human and we're just humaning together, right? And I think that's when it gets so disconnected to where, again, the Success Codex says, focus on you.
Yeah.
And then everything else around you will rearrange and people will come to you versus go get someone to do something.
Right. Oh,
right?
Exactly. We can't control anyone. You can't really make anyone do anything. And like, I had a mentor once who was just like really, really proud of, like, she goes, I can get anyone to buy, and I can get anyone to buy even if they don't need it and even if they don't want it. And that's how I make money. And I like it that way. And it really struck a chord with me. It was difficult. And I think, to your point, it's like, yeah, manipulation, whatever we want to call it, getting people to do things that you want is a part of life. But I know for myself, I'll assume for myself, right? What I like to think. Here's a little ideal. Let me be a little idealist, okay? I want people in my programs and I want clients who want to be there because they see the value in what I bring without me needing to convince them, without me needing to perform, without me needing to curate images that make me look a certain way, without me overgiving to justify my pricing. I mean, it's a relationship, right? If we started to see our clients the same way that we do in relationships, very, very different. Like, do you want a partner who you've had to trick into getting with you? I don't really want that. Do you want, it's like catfishing? Is that what it's called? I don't know. I'm not hip with the lingo, but like, it's like putting on
this. A honeypot?
Right. It's a honeypot. I don't want a honeypot. I don't want to honeypot anyone because I don't want to have to keep it up, guys. That's the bottom line. When I think of my business, when I think of what the Success Codex has given me, yes, I created it, but like in my own use and application of my own Success Codex, it is, I get to stop performing and wasting my energy trying to be something that I'm not, because when I am in that space of needing to be something for you, needing to prove something, having to appear a certain way, I don't have the energy I want to have towards my actual leadership. It is being usurped, right? That energy is being siphoned away into performance and perfection and people pleasing and being good and being pretty and being liked and other people's opinions about your pricing, about your whatever, your offers. That is a waste of my energy. It's a waste of your energy. And at the end of the day, all of those things are a pretense that then you need to keep up. So you never get off of the hamster wheel of performance. And it can be absolutely terrifying to the ego, to everything that we've really been taught about, like, what works in business. But if we can drop the pretense and just have a non-negotiable of, I am myself in all parts of my business, behind the scenes, when I'm creating things, when I'm marketing, when I'm speaking, when I'm teaching, it's the same me. I don't have to pretend. All of a sudden, our energy reserve, it shoots right up. Like, it really is about efficiency, which sounds a little cold, but it's about efficiency. Because if you give a shit about what you do and you really want to be doing it for a long time, and also if you give a shit about making money and you want to make money for a long time, we have to think in terms of our energetic capacity. We have to start looking and like cutting off the drains.
Yeah.
That was a lot. Yeah. It's just like, take it away, Lois. No pressure.
Well, I think it comes back to what you said earlier about the way money flows. Like, again, our external orientation would have us believe that the job brings us money, or the client is how our money comes. And we don't understand that it flows through us. And when we are in that aligned state, we don't have to like do the hard sell, because money is just responding to our energy. right? And I think, like I always talk about submissive sales. I cannot hard sell to save my life, right? I just put offers out there, and if you're interested, you ask me, right?
Yeah.
I'm never going to cold DM you. I'm not going to cold call you. Like there was a reason I wasn't on the sales team, right, in business. But yeah, I just think having a framework for how we begin to internally orient and start trusting ourselves is the key, right? That's what the Success Codex gives me is, oh, and I think, and we were talking about it this morning, is when we're in the fire, right? The pressure is high.
Yeah.
Like money is low, whatever it is, time is short. We forget, even you who created it, me, I forget my frameworks. You forget when the pressure gets big that, oh, wait a minute, I have something that I can go back to, right? And it takes us a minute of being in like the forest, right? Amongst the trees, we can't see what's happening to us. And then like we're really good at bouncing back and forth and saying, now what does your codex say? And you're, oh, that's right, I have one. Let me go look.
Right.
And bring you back. And I think that's what people need is the ability to have somebody keep reminding them, go back here, go back here, go back here, reorient internally, like, yes, and do this. And I think that's like pretty much what you're creating now with your new membership.
Yeah. Well, and that's the whole point, right? And it's funny because Katie's here too. And there are some comments that we'll get to, but Katie and I talk about this all the time too. It's like, I'm like sitting here spinning my wheels, and I was just like, I happened to look over at my Success Codex, and I was just like, oh my gosh, oh yeah, it's like it's sitting right there. And the answer that I was looking for, right? Not that it tells me what to do, but it reminds me who I am. It reminds me what comes easily to me. It reminds me what comes naturally to me. It's right there, but we forget to use the tools that we have. I don't know anyone who's not certified in multiple modalities. How many certifications do you have? I stopped counting.
Yeah.
We got plenty of tools. The learning the tools is not the problem. That's not what we need support with. We need support with applying the tools. And so, yeah, that might mean like, what we're doing with the membership is having a monthly masterclass, having a monthly coaching call, like having some pieces to keep the system front of mind so that we can remember to apply it. So maybe it looks like a membership. For some people, it looks like hiring a coach. For others, it's like, I don't know, you set a reminder in your phone. You have to find what works for you. I know I always do better in community. If there is a human who I am talking to, the accountability feels built in without it needing to be forced. And that could be like in a group, or it can be one-on-one. It's just, and I used to be really embarrassed about that and feel like you should be able to do it on your own. And thank God I dropped that, because the truth is whether I should be able to do it on my own or not is beside the point, because I don't do it on my own. So either I can sit around feeling bad about myself, or I can take action towards what actually works for me. Yeah.
That's where like I am hot on the awareness trail right now, because awareness is great, but it doesn't change anything, right? And until you're willing to take the action to implement the awareness, like, you're just going to keep spinning. And I am not asking for help, especially if I already know what I'm supposed to be doing. I never could, there was always something in my head that would say, why would you hire somebody to tell you what you already know? And that was the key, to tell me what I already know, right? But they weren't going to tell me, they were going to help me live it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that distance, well, one, I thought awareness meant prevention or embodiment.
Yeah.
But two, a part of me didn't want to, because I wanted to stay in my little loopy safety.
Oh, we love those little loopy safeties.
Right? Then I never have to be vulnerable enough
Right.
to say, yeah, I need some accountability here.
Right.
Like, accountability felt like a threat or to me, it was like
beneath you.
Yes. I don't need accountability.
Right.
I give accountability. I don't need it. Right. So.
Yeah. I mean, like you've heard me say that I believe that awareness is readiness. It's not action. Awareness it's helpful, right? Like think about when you're learning the alphabet, right? Or you're learning to read. Learning the alphabet is readiness. Learning the letters and their sounds doesn't mean I can read, but it helps.
Yeah.
I mean, it helps. You're decoding of letters combined into words. And so it's the same thing. Like, when I teach group programs with the Success Codex, we have the personal path and in the whole first phase of the specialist certification, we deep dive into your Success Codex. We are doing the awareness piece, like what do these pieces mean? But more importantly, what do they mean to you? How do they speak to you? How do you see them playing out in your life? How can we, and like, I'm always going towards application, right? So it's like, let's talk about how we can actually apply it. But really that foundation is about becoming aware of this beautiful genius that we hold, this constellation of genius that every single one of us is born with a brilliantly unique constellation. I call it the Success Codex. Yes, when I created it, it was just like, this is for entrepreneurs, and it is for entrepreneurs, but it's for human beings to understand the way that we operate. But understanding is not going to get you results. You have to apply it. You have to start playing with it. Yes, we can call it experimenting, because that's when we actually find out what our understanding really is, right? I can have a concept. I can fantasize about something. I can idealize it. I can decide if it's good or bad without ever having to try it, which goes back to that vulnerability piece that you were speaking to. But until I put my feet on the ground with it, I can only understand it at a certain level. And like when it comes to ourselves, I mean, I have a value of self-understanding. I believe that probably anybody who likes the Success Codex also values this self-knowledge and self-understanding. But really, for me, it's self-understanding in service of self-actualization.
Yeah. And I say even further into individuation, right?
Because, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Self-actualization is the baseline that we should.
Right. That's just the beginning.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the space. And like, I don't think any of us are supposed to get it right. And to your point, Lois, I don't know if we can even get it wrong. I think it's just the journey, right? Like I'm just going to hold up the Success Codex in case anybody's never seen it. I know it's backwards here, but this is your Success Codex. Go to freesuccesscodex.com and get yours if you don't have it. But, within each circle, there's an alignment cue and an out of alignment cue. I think that sometimes people can misinterpret this out of alignment cue like I'm doing something wrong, or I'm bad, or I'm somehow going to miss the mark of being who I am. It's not. It's still the frequency of you. It's a side of one frequency, right?
Yeah. When you give it a spectrum, right? I always talk about it. It's a spectrum, and you feel both ends and everything in the middle. Like you're somewhere on there, and it's giving you a clue.
Right. So I'll give an example, right? So key code 47 is perspective. I'm just looking at that in my Success Codex's Success Codex. It's the archetype of the alchemist, right? In alignment, there is a flexibility. Out of alignment, the word is fixed. So being fixed is part of your perspective, as is being flexible. So you get to choose when you see the word fixed. It doesn't mean, oh shit, I'm being fixed and I'm bad. I'm like my mind is too rigid and I'm wrong. It's not about that. It's about, oh, there's a part of me that's maybe struggling to feel safe enough to be flexible or empowered enough to be flexible, because this is really the key code about being able to choose your perspective and choosing a perspective that's enhancing your journey and enhancing your understanding versus limiting it, right? So it's an opportunity. It shows you your patterns. Those out of alignment cues show you your patterns, and they give you an opportunity to be able to choose, right? Like this is a theme of this whole conversation. I've said it in the beginning and weaving it here as well.
Yeah. It really is all about understanding all of your humanness, no matter what end you're on. And neither one is good or bad.
Right.
It's just where you are and what's happening. And you get to create a level of consciousness around it that allows for your choices to become conscious versus unconscious. So I would even, like, just thinking about it now, I would even say that the out of alignment cue is when you're potentially unconsciously making choices that later on, the consequence of that or the cost of that choice seems like something you might not have chosen, right? Consciously. Right. So yeah, I think this is all about teaching you the full spectrum of your particular humanness, what you're here to do, and teaching you how to make conscious choice regardless. Because sometimes we're still going to choose. Like I can be pissed off at somebody and know that that's not the healthiest place to be, but choose to stay there anyway.
Yeah.
Versus not knowing why I'm pissed off and not being able to get out of it.
Yeah.
I think that's the distinction.
Right. And I like this kind of idea of like, you're just not consciously choosing. And so, you know, when I think of these out of alignment cues, and because I do want to tie it back to the topic of this, like, why would we go into this unconscious autopilot reactive response? Well, it's usually fear and pressure. It's just one or the other. There's a part of us that is afraid, or there is a part of us that is succumbing to the pressure, right? And so what does that make us do? So let's come full circle and let's talk about client attraction and like what happens to our concept of what our job is to bring clients through our doors and to be able to serve more people when the pressure is on, right? So like let's do a little brainstorm. And if anyone's on the chat and they want to add into this as well, like the pressure's on. So what do I think I need to do in order to get more clients? Financial pressure, right? So like, you know, I don't know if you have any.
I mean, I have to post more. I have to create another offer, even though I have a whole stable of them. More.
Yeah, Katie just said more. I just have to do more.
Exactly. I have to do it more, faster, more perfect, more money, maybe like raise my prices or lower my prices. Like money always comes in to my head.
Right. Or invest. Like, oh, well, I have to invest in something.
I need a new course. I need to learn something new.
I spent $4,500 on a marketer that made AI Claude copy for me. Okay. When I was in a desperate, I just can't do this. Okay. Like that was not, I mean, it was a great lesson. I won't be making that choice again. I won't even call it a mistake, but like, yes, trying to escape the feeling of pressure. What do we do to try to quell or escape that feeling of pressure? We do more. We take that pressure energy and we go and channel it into, you know, something. None of these things for most of us, when we're in that like negative form of pressure, some pressure can be okay. Or when we're in fear and when we're in scarcity, for the most part, we're not like, let me just stop what I'm doing and connect with myself. Let me just make sure that I'm actually even more aligned with why I'm doing this, why it matters, and why I actually really want to serve people. That's like the last thing that we do.
Because we have no evidence that works.
Well, do we have no evidence that that works? Or are we forgetting that the times when it worked, that's probably why it worked?
Yeah, because we don't recognize that that's what was happening.
Exactly.
Right? It's just a fluke, or I was in some sort of flow. Like we can't relate it back to the actual.
100%, right? When I reflect back on my biggest year of business, there was literally not a moment where I thought I needed to do something to get clients. I was just on fire and in love with what I was doing. But here's what happens, right? Like, let's say you got that going and the money is coming in and the clients are coming in. And then all of a sudden you've got a drop during that month, whether, maybe clients, end up leaving because they, complete the program, or the payment plans end, or maybe you've got a big expense and the numbers start to go down. What do you do when the numbers go down?
Try harder.
Right? And so it's a reminder, right? And so this is my invitation for anyone who's watching, and for myself again, because I've been doing this regularly, is I want you to think about a time when you were successful because go find the proof that actually I was not freaked out about money. I was actually right in the flow of doing what I love. Things felt good and I was excited to serve. If you're not brand new to business, if you had a time where it was flowing, I want you to think about who you were being during that time. Right? I will caveat this with, I had a period where I was learning from a marketing person and I was doing a lot of manipulative marketing, I'll call it that, right? And I got a lot of followers and clients during that time too. Not sustainably though. Came at a cost. Came at a cost of me wanting to quit everything. Right? So Katie says, panic. I'm picking up what you're putting down, Katie. More.
Panic. Freeze.
Freeze.
Yeah.
So
and try to get it more perfect.
Right. Yes.
Right? It's always, okay, now it's serious, and all of the responsibility for the success is being put on that offer or that post or that thing. And it has to be the winner, right? We're all trying to hit home runs instead of just get on base.
Yeah.
And if we would just keep getting on base, like just hitting singles over and over, we'd win the game, right?
Yeah. 100%. Like I'm thinking about the people the mentors, the teachers who I got the most out of working with. I don't think for any of them, I can tell you, none of them, it was the marketing that got me in. Most of the programs that I joined because of the really good marketing ended up being a disappointment. They're completely mediocre at best. It's the people who I felt so resonant with. Oftentimes, like I felt called to join the program versus pressured, versus feared, versus scarcitied, versus FOMO'd. I felt called to join. And I'm somebody, I was raised to follow that. And like, I know it's rare, right? But like that muscle is strong within me. If I feel called to do something, it doesn't have to make sense to me. I'll go for it. But when you I don't know if that's true for you too, Lois, when you think about the people who really changed your life in being in their programs, was it why did you join? to save yourself, to escape something? Or were you inspired? My theory could be wrong.
I can't even think of, present company excluded, a coach or mentor that really helped me. But so I have to take it back to my corporate world, and I can think of bosses or peers that made significant impact on me. Right. And it was always the energy of the person, right? Not the one saying you've got these 10 things due, go get it done.
Yeah.
It was always about conversation. Even if I go like way back to school, it was, I was in love with my novel teachers, where it was subjective, right? For me as a reflector, I'm always wanting to like, how can I weave and deep dive into things so that I can have pieces to connect later? And it was always that, but I can't think of, since I've been in this entrepreneurial industry for like 5 years now, I can't think of a single program that I have bought that was worth it. Yeah. No, I don't.
I mean, I for me, like the ones that are worth it is usually because I learned some lesson that I wasn't paying to learn. Like,
I learned lots of those.
Like,
just from oh wow, like I would go back to that person and hire them again and again and again.
Yeah.
Now I'm working with you and an astrologer that I love, and I keep going back, but it's really, I think a lot of that was me learning as a reflector to not jump, right? Because you got good copywriting, here's my credit card. Like,
same.
In the moment. And then I'm like, why did I even buy this? Like, because, the moon came by on a different date, and all of a sudden I'm like, well, I don't need this. So, it's really interesting.
Welcome to my graveyard of unopened programs that I bought. Unopened. Purchased and never opened.
It's really interesting to think about it. I've never thought about it, but just really the codex and then my birth chart, like, which are very similar in nature when we're looking at planets and all of that, to just keep bringing me back and back and back to, this is who you are. This is what you're meant to be, be, whatever. Not from you're supposed to teach this exact thing, but my way of being keeps getting, I can't think of the word I want to use, but reestablished, but reinforced over and over, so that now I can look back and go, look, I was always on track. All the way back, even when I was in the corporate climb, right, of the wounded masculine and all that was going on, I was still on track. I was still leaning into who I am. I just didn't have the knowledge or validation of that. And I feel like that's what this keeps giving me, is like, oh, you know what you're doing. You can trust yourself. To come back to it.
I mean, it's so simple, right? Like, one of my current women enrolled in the specialist certification program, Dr. Erin, who was on, we did a reading, was it 2 weeks ago? Last week? Maybe it was last week. 2 weeks ago. She says that she's a success psychologist and she works with the human behind the business, right? And like that really stuck with me. Because I really think that's what the Success Codex is too. It's like all of it is building success as a byproduct of self-trust. It's not like there's no formula in this that you follow. You don't follow a formula to success. There's no system that could tell you what you're supposed to offer, who you're supposed to work with. But you can understand the way that you, like, what the gifts that you bring feel like for you and how you apply them in your own unique way, right? You and I could have I have a client who has the exact same primary genius as me. We're very different. We do totally different work, but she's deeply aligned with that key code and approach, as am I, right? So it's not about, there's no rules. There's no cookie cutter formula in there. It is a map of you, right? And, we were talking about this idea of like energetic capacity and the amount of energy that gets wasted in performing and people pleasing and putting yourself in a box. That's the life force that is your magnet It's your light. It is your magnet. And we are draining it because we've been trained to drain it.
Right.
And so we have to just bring ourselves back and commit to bringing ourselves back. So we talk about the pressure of how do I get more clients? The question isn't how do I get more people to buy from me? The question is how can I be more of myself, hold and shine out more of my energy, understand the innate gifts that I'm born with here that people need at this time in their journey, right? The way that we treat client attraction within the Success Codex is you've got this attraction key code. This is a specific frequency that when people are ripe to work with you, when they are ready to work with you, this is a key to helping them unlock their own transformation. And you hold it, and you don't have to try to hold it, and you don't have to try to show it. You don't have to do anything other than be yourself. Recognize that you can leverage it, right? Like you can own it, you can claim it, you can even talk about it in your marketing. I don't know. But like, it's not about being something other than you are. It's about deepening into who you are. That's the antidote to the pressure.
Right.
It's our opposite instinct. The instinct is go do more and be something that you're not. And when you feel that impulse to go and, do more, the panic, like all of that stuff, that is your sign to turn inward, to come back to who you are. Go look at that key that's on your key code, on your attraction gateway, right? So I know it's in the opposite space. I think my thing is, but it's your top left, right? Is your attraction gateway. Lois is pulling hers up. You're like, what's mine again? What am I supposed to do here?
I have it memorized by now.
So mine is understanding. That is what I don't have a doubt in my mind that that's what I do. That is my magic.
Mine's ingenuity.
Of course it is, right? Of course it is, right? Without a doubt, I know that when I am in my leader magic, when I'm really living on purpose and creative flow, and in my mental brilliance, right? It's in the ajna. I help people understand things on way, way deeper levels so that they can, right? Part of the understanding is understanding how to apply it, right? Katie, it's 14.1 for prosperity, right? And what is that? That's like using your skills, using your talent, using who you are and channeling it into work that's meaningful for you and fulfilling for you, right? And so that key that you have, the clients who are drawn to you naturally, just because they see you owning that, they either potentially, that's like a healing balm for them. It's a growth path for them. Or maybe sometimes they're fully embodied in that too, and they just feel a soul resonance, right? So I have a lot of people who come to me, it's like they're really deep and they have a rich understanding, right? They value understanding. They're usually coming to me to understand it in the specific way that I bring it through. And Lois, if yours was also 4.2, they would go to you because they want to know how you understand it and how you share it. So even if you have the same key code and approach as someone else, it's not just that, that's maybe the lens. I don't even know how to explain
the perspective, like seeing it through my perspective from my lived experience is different than yours, right? And the people who are more similar to me will find my way valuable, and the ones that are more similar to you find your way.
Exactly. And like the whole thing about this is like, notice how I said when they're ready for it on their journey, not because they need you forever, right? Not because they're supposed to work with you forever, but at this time, right? Like we've all been there when we're just praying for something quietly, like, God, I just wish. And I'm talking about the wishes that go deeper than I wish someone would just tell me what to do with my business and help me, right? But like, what's that deeper wish?
True desire, right?
Right? The true desire. This is a key to unlocking that desire, whatever is in yours, right? And so that's the antidote to pressure. It's leaning into who you are, not trying to be something that you're not. And that's also why, like, the pressure can either drain us, or here we can use that pressure. If we learn how to, when we feel it, turn in, now all of a sudden that pressure becomes something that feeds us instead of drains us.
So
yes. I'm like, we've been here an hour. We're like, let's talk for like 20 minutes today, Lois. Impossible.
we don't know how to do that.
Impossible.
This is on the heels of a 2-hour Telegram
conversation. I know. So all of this is to say, we mentioned in the very beginning that we just started the Success Your Way membership here in Substack. We're trying something new. Many of you know I'm off of social media. I really don't go on anymore. This is the space where I'm really loving to grow community. But it's not a Substack membership like where you get articles. I'm not a big article writer. I want you to think about this. It would be like a membership portal, because every month I'm going to be doing a masterclass and I'm going to be doing a live group coaching, and we're going to be doing it on Zoom. Okay. So not just like me talking at you. It'll be interactive. However many people come. If I have to do it to myself, I will. Sometimes that's going to happen. And that's okay. But so the first masterclass of the membership is going to be on client attraction. And that's going to be happening next week. So on Wednesday and Thursday, 11 a.m. So this time, right? 11 a.m. Eastern, Wednesday and Thursday, it's going to be a 2-part masterclass. First day is going to be a little bit more, well, not a little bit more, but like kind of my foundational framework, what I call the 4 R's of client attraction. And on day 2, we're going to dive deep, and it'll be interactive, and we're going to go into what your success codex is, so you can get some feedback and some coaching around that. If we have time, I am hoping to do a subconscious rewiring process as well. I'm hoping that we actually get to do that on day 1. So that's something to just be on the lookout for. Now, right now, the cost of the membership is $20 a month, but we have, if you want to join as an annual member during the stage when we're building, it's $97 for the year. Okay. So
that's crazy.
That's a really good deal. $97 for the whole year. If you are a Success Codex specialist, certified from last round, or current student, you get the membership for free. If you are in the personal path, you get 1 month for free. So if you're watching this and you didn't claim that, please reach out to me, because I have coupon codes for you. But I'm really excited to bring this here and to get to interact with you and to share this, because I really give a shit about this. This has been a game changer for me. And I know that so many of us, you know, client attraction is a big thing in business. So it's time for us to do it in a way that honors ourselves and also honors our clients.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that one.
Yeah. Okay, so that's it, folks. It's Friday. Go party. I have to go buy my son a suit because he's going to a Sweet 16. That's what's happening in my world.
Nice.
And for everyone else, enjoy your weekends. Let me know if you have any questions. And thank you, Lois, for joining me in this conversation. It was fun. Next Friday, by the way, guys, I'll be doing a live reading again. And that's for everyone, not just within the membership. So that being said, love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. See you soon.
Bye.